Hello and welcome to Ninqueso Almost Live. This is episode number 60. I am El Gran Queso and I am joined, as always, by my co-host, Miss Bree.
Hey, Steve, how are you?
I'm not too bad, thank you. How are you today?
I'm dialing in from underwater here, aren't I?
Yes, yeah, you're back in your goldfish bowl type talking place again.
Sorry about that.
Just rubbish.
I do feel like we need to splash out and buy me a really, really good microphone.
Yeah, if anyone wants to sponsor the podcast, get us a microphone, let us know.
Yeah, if anybody does, that's all cool.
Do you want to send us a microphone to try? We'll sell ourselves out for that as well.
Yeah,
probably
absolutely.
Not the best investment on your part with our current viewer rating, but it's an investment over time. That's what I say. Invest in us now while we're cheap.
That's it. While we're cheap, and we are cheap. We are very, very cheap. Anyway, how are you, bestie?
Yeah, I'm okay. Been working on a lot of YouTube stuff, trying to get my production for that up, which is going okay. Getting busy, having ideas, doing stuff, playing games.
Do you know what I like about you is you always have insane ideas, which is great.
I never have insane ideas.
Well, remember the rubber bone on a pole match idea?
Nothing that ever happened in Full House Ascension Wrestling was ever a bad idea or crazy.
When you're afraid of heights, the ladder match.
Building a giant whack-a-mole box, nothing is a bad idea.
Yeah.
Actually, getting someone else to build me a giant whack-a-mole box.
Yeah. So, how have you been this week apart from that? What have you been up
to? Been playing games. Played my first ever Kirby game the other day, which was Kirby 64 on the Crystal Shard. And then I played the original Kirby game. I played that yesterday on stream. So I beat that game. It's really weird. It's Kirby games are pretty laid back and easy. In the first Kirby game, it's pretty laid back and easy. Then you get to the final boss, and it changes from a platformer into a shoot 'em up, and it's really hard.
Oh.
Not only do you have to kill this boss that's shooting at you lots, you have to kill him in a certain amount of time, or you get crushed to death by the floor.
Harsh.
It's just why has this game suddenly got so hard?
Very hard.
But I beat it, so that's good. So I beat 2 Kirby games now. Okay. How about you? You been playing anything new?
I played Animal Crossing, but I've been a busy girl this week.
Have you learnt your animal villagers' names yet?
No.
We're getting that question every week now, apparently.
Yeah, I'm going to have to do my homework, really. But I haven't done as much gaming because I've been on an adventure. Here we are. I have been to Comic-Con this week, reporting live.
Well, you're not really reporting live because this is pre-recorded and you're not actually there anymore.
Yeah.
So this is as far from live as you can get. But just put the quotes on.
Do some spots reporting live.
Reporting almost live.
Almost live, yeah. So I've got some pictures which you're going to put up, but it was very, very interesting because it was actually sponsored. Here's my pass, entry pass. It was actually sponsored by Genshin Impact. As you can see, there was a lot of anime cosplay there and a lot of sponsored cosplayers doing Genshin Impact costumes. They got a big area and I've put a couple of photos up there where they were showing footage and doing sort of live interactive sections, and there was stuff on the main stage and what have you. Very, very interesting because it's been out for a while now, but it's coming out on Switch.
Yeah, it came out originally on PS4 and I think on Epic Game Store and mobile.
Yeah, so that was really, really interesting. In terms of the cosplay, as usual, it was fantastic. There were loads of people there, but anime was very, very big. Apart from that, there was a lot of Scarlet Witch.
Yeah.
But mostly a lot of anime, which was because they were. I mean, obviously, at Comic-Con, there's a bit of everything. There was some Star Trek and some Doctor Who, and what have you. But in terms of the actual cosplayers, not so much old school stuff. What was nice was there's a little bit of Star Wars, which I liked, particularly because obviously we've just had the Obi-Wan Kenobi series drop on Disney this week as well. So I came home and watched that. But yeah, mostly anime. So it was really interesting because it was a little bit different this year, I think, in terms of cosplay than it's been before. One of the nice things, and you've also sent you a photograph of this, was they had a huge free gaming area, which ran I mean, I was walking down memory lane here because they had every single console from the history of time. They've got Pong there.
Did they have an Amiga CD32?
Yeah, or everything. They've got
I wanted one of them.
just everything. And they were literally rows and rows and rows and rows, and you could just go and sit down and play, which was amazing. It was great. The vendors aisle, we got a lot of good stuff on there, and I've included a really nice photo there of a particular vendor which was doing faceplates for your Xbox controller relatively cheaply. I think they were just 30 quid, but
yeah,
they were very nice. They were really, really nice quality, so that was good. But yeah, other than that, there were a lot of plushies on sale, I have to say. But it was great. And if you have never been, I would really recommend it. If you're any kind of geek, and obviously we all are geeks inside, if you listen to this podcast, yeah, go. It was a great day out, really good day out. One thing I just have to mention for those neurodivergent folk, they did have a special room where you could go and get some time out, where they got fidgets, they've got a century light, they've got some quiet time, colouring books, and all that sort of stuff. And I did go in there myself for 20 minutes because it can get quite overwhelming if you're there all day, but it was very well thought out. Thought the exhibition as a whole was really good, and I really enjoyed it.
Cool. Should we get some quick news then?
Yeah, the kind of news we don't really want to talk about, but we feel we should mention.
And there really isn't very much of it this week.
No.
Capcom's launch is a new Dragon Dogma's 10th anniversary website. Does that imply they're going to be making a new Dragon's Dogma game? Who knows?
I thought so.
But I've never played one, so I don't know what they're like. Sony has confirmed that PS1 and PSP trophy support is optional, and it's up to the developer whether they want to include it or not on the games that are coming out. And also, Sony has announced a state of play which will be taking place on Thursday, June the 11th, and that is 11 p.m. No, not June the 11th. What's the date?
2nd of June.
2nd of June. I'm looking at 11 p.m. That's British summertime. 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. And it's about half an hour, apparently.
Yeah. And that's the end of the quick news.
And that is the end of the quick news. That is very quick, because apparently we want to talk about everything today. That's why. But yes, Microsoft has confirmed the existence of Keystone, which is an Xbox streaming device.
Yeah, we had to talk about this last week, and we talked this sort of being like a Fire Stick or something like this, so you can just plug it into any device without having to have a console. And I think if you've got like 3 children who fight over consoles, you can buy them one of these each. What's interesting about this is they've confirmed its existence, but they've also said that they are pivoting away from the existing technology, which I think is industry speak for it's a bit delayed, and industry speak for we're going to bring it out at the same time as Starfield, which has been delayed. But that's just my reading of it. I don't know what you think.
I don't think it's got anything to do with that, really. I think they'd want this out as quick as possible. I think if they are changing the tech, they've obviously got an upgrade in the whole, because Microsoft is really pushing the whole streaming thing. So it works pretty well as it is from what I've experienced in now. So I think anything they're going to do to try and make it work better, and if they want to actually legitimately sell this as a viable thing for the masses, then it needs to work really, really well. And I think it probably is something to do along those lines rather than just trying to tie it in with a game, because that game is to sell Game Pass. That's not to sell the systems and that, because otherwise it wouldn't be on Game Pass on the PC.
I think what you're saying would tie very closely into what's actually going on, because the statement says our vision for Xbox cloud gaming is unwavering. Our goal is to enable people to play the games they want on the devices they want, anywhere they want. That's interesting. So, So apparently, they're regrouping with a new approach to the technology to allow their vision of Xbox cloud gaming around the world. So, from what I hear, it's kind of could eventually run on a slimmed down Windows or Xbox OS, but we don't know the timeline. What but will look like.
It will come out at some point, and I'm sure one of us will probably end up getting one.
I would get one. Yeah,
I would as well, because I don't have, like, in the bedroom, the other TV, I don't have a smart TV there, so obviously. My options are at the moment get a Fire Stick, or I just use my PS4 in the bedroom at the moment to watch YouTube and things like that on it. So yeah, I think this would be good.
I wonder what the controller situation will be like with it, but
I imagine it will just tie up the same as any other. Like, depends where you're streaming from, I guess. Yeah. If you're streaming from the console, then it might tie up to your actual console if you're still close enough.
I just wonder if they're sort of like thinking about a new version of the controller that links directly to the Wi-Fi, because that'll reduce latency.
That's what Google did.
Stadia.
That's what Stadia did. So that's that's possible. Then then the only thing is, it's like you have to have one of those controllers.
Yes.
So.
Yes. But that's all. Like that's what just something that sprung to mind.
Unless they can do it with a firmware update onto the current controllers.
Anyway, EA reportedly pursuing a sale or a merger. We are going through this phase in the gaming world where everybody's hoovering up anything that moves, and we're gonna.
I think it's more that we're at a very big high at the moment with the gaming industry, and the last time we were at a big high for gaming, there was a big crash after it in like the early 80s. So maybe people are a bit worried that the bubble was going to burst with the growing of the gaming industry, or it's just because they're worth a lot more money now, and it's like now's a good time to sell because we're worth so much. I think that's what it is, that they're worried that the trend is going to drop. So people are like thinking, while we're this high, let's try and sell ourselves on.
Not signing up again with FIFA, do you think?
I don't think so. I mean, that's the whole just ridiculous amounts of money just for 4 letters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they are actively pursuing it from what's being reported.
Yeah.
But, Microsoft acquiring Bethesda and Activision Blizzard, and then we got Sony, Halo, Destiny. I just think there's a lot of money washing around the industry, and we're going to have to see some kind of slimming down, I think.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Just keep an eye on. I mean, it'll be a big thing if they do sell, because EA are quite a big outputter on games, really.
Yeah, I mean, I can see perhaps Amazon or Disney wanting to acquire here.
That'd be weird, wouldn't it, if someone like that got
it? It would be weird, but Disney, you know what? There were lots of choices Disney could have made poorly over the past sort of like 2-3 years in its streaming business, and they've actually done quite well. So I don't know.
Yeah, imagine if they buy EA and then all of EA games go exclusive to like some Disney streaming service. Oh,
very
God,
weird.
no.
Very weird.
I'm not that I play EA games very often.
The world's changing.
It is. And if you look, like you say, if you look 10 years ago, what the gaming industry was like, just 10 years ago, like when the Xbox One was announced and everyone kicking off that it had to be connected to the internet all the time. And now servers go down, you can't play Gran Turismo for over the weekend because the servers are down, and it's just like people just accept that now. And there was such an outcry back then that
outrage.
Who knows where we're going to be in 10 years' time? Maybe it will just be 100% streaming. No one buys games anymore whatsoever. Because it's going that way with movies. I can't remember the last time I bought a DVD or a Blu-ray.
We bought one over the weekend, to be fair.
Yeah, but it's not like when I was like in the early 2000s and things. I was buying. I'd go to Tesco's, buy my weekly shop and think, oh, look at the DVDs. Oh, that one's for £3-4. Oh, I'll buy that and give it a watch.
Yeah.
That's gone because I had hundreds of DVDs.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I was about to say is that, people had large collections of DVDs, and they, you could get special pieces of furniture for keeping them in, and they would like, I'm getting the latest box set, and that just doesn't happen now. But that's what I was going to say is what Manhunt actually bought was Reservoir Dogs, because I'd never seen it.
Yeah. And
he was in one of these second-hand places, and I think it cost him like £1.50 or something like that. Because I've been saying for a long while, I've never seen Reservoir Dogs. It's like, we should sit down and watch it. And we wanted that specific movie for that specific evening. So that was the only reason for that. It wasn't sort of like, oh, it's just a pick-up purchase like you were just referring to. I think things, very much changing. We'll see the same thing over the next 5 years. Huge shifts.
Yeah, it's the same way as like, I know Tesco's don't sell games anymore, and they don't sell DVDs anymore, even in the big one near us. And just like, oof. So obviously demand is just fallen off because of streaming services. Will that? I mean, obviously, gaming companies want that to happen with games.
Yeah.
So let's see how that goes. But anyway, Nintendo's been responding to like.
Right.
This is a while ago. This happened.
Did they? Did they respond?
Well, they kind of
said they got nothing to announce.
They kind of said what they said was, "Shh, no one's noticed. Let's just keep it quiet, and we can keep these Wii and DSi stores closed." Yeah, the Wii and the DSi shop channels have been closed for a while now, but you've been able to re-download your software. A few weeks ago, this actually was an issue. Someone discovered that they couldn't re-down their software. And Nintendo at the time said, they're working on it. How long ago? This was like back in May, wasn't it? Original article was the 23rd of March. And then, and then like, I think it was Game Explain reached out to Nintendo and was like, hey, look, what's going on? And Nintendo just kind of said, there's nothing to announce.
Which was not really a response, to be fair, but yeah, there we are.
I mean, obviously Nintendo know how many people are trying to access this and how many people have been using it. And they're probably just thinking, it's not worth it for the 3 people that are trying to download the bloody game. It's just not worth it.
Yeah, probably.
You know?
But at least they said something. If it was a nothing.
And the big worry, I think, is this is going to affect the Wii U. The Wii U, obviously, because it didn't sell great anyway, but also the 3DS. I think from the Switch, now that we've got the Nintendo accounts are all kind of coming together, they're kind of like hoping that it will be like Microsoft now and you just keep all your games going forward, which is why Nintendo are doing the accounts. But I think we're going to get this problem as well with the 3DS, which is a shame because there's a lot of games on there and they're stuck on there as well. It's not like you can even play those anywhere else.
Not really. Oh well.
But yeah, so don't accidentally delete your Wii or DSi games at the moment because you ain't getting them back for the foreseeable future, which I'm worried about because they're just on an SD card. How long is my SD card going to be okay for?
No, not very
as
long.
for my Wii U, the hard drive that all my games were on broke. I need get another hard drive for it so I can re-download everything before this happens to the Wii U.
Collector.
Just stop.
So the next story I would suggest is also a non-story because I just don't believe it. But what's the headline, Bestie?
The headline is TLC suggests that a new Xbox and PS5 consoles could arrive in 2023-24.
No, just no.
Yeah, this is due to, if you're looking back at like the revisions, I think it was like 3 years after the PS4 and the Xbox came out that we got the Xbox Series, not the Xbox Series, the Xbox One X and the PS5 Pro. So it's kind of just following the patterns that have happened over the past few.
Yeah, but you can barely get hold of these
Yes, that is the big difference here. That is the big difference here.
Bringing out anything new off the back of that.
Admittedly,
won't get it out.
I walked past Game on Wednesday and there was a big like A-frame banner on the outside saying PS5 in stock. So
just the one.
But it's drip feeding. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be any new revision in this time frame. The only new revision I think you could see in this time frame, or even before they even release a pro system, the only revision we'll see is one that allows them to make the production of the consoles cheaper and easier. I think that's what their R&D are working on right now. They're not working on trying to make these systems more powerful. They're trying to work on ways to make them so that they can actually make them to the quantities they need.
This story has come through a Polish website who shared photos from an event in Poland saying that, we've got these new resolution consoles
8K gaming.
out. But I mean, who's got a TV who runs 8K anyway?
Isn't this like the people that kind of said this? Aren't they like a TV manufacturing company trying to promote their 8K TVs by saying
like that,
there are consoles that are going to be using it? Come on, let's get to a point where we can run 4K games at 120 frames consistently before we think about that.
So 8K resolution at 60 or 120 frames per second. Maybe not.
Yeah, it's very. I'm very dubious on it. I'm
skeptical is
very
the
dubious.
Ninqueso almost live verdict on this one. We're skeptical.
Yeah.
Okay, so our next story is a Nintendo story, and
no, it's not. It's a Sony one. It's a Sony one. It's a Sony one. It's a Sony one.
Oh yeah. Right.
Can tell because the website's all blue.
Okay, so this is some games on the PS5 and the PS4, and they have chosen the 50 hertz.
This is for their new subscription services, isn't it?
Yes.
And
so for retro PS1 emulation on PS5 and PS4.
Yes.
So Ape Escape.
They're using the PAL versions, which is the 50 hertz, not the NSTC versions, which is 60 hertz, which is a smoother experience.
Yes. Yes. So there's a little bit of an outcry about this.
Yeah, it's so weird because Sony did this with their PlayStation Classic as well. They used a lot of the PAL versions.
Yeah, but
why?
The thing about... Well, I'll tell you why.
Oh, here we go.
So the 50 hertz version is a higher resolution than the 60 hertz version, and people have got bigger TVs. So it's a question of a 480 or a 576 version.
So it makes it easier for them to clean up to the bigger screen.
Yes.
But the frame pacing goes because of the hertz.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's either 576 at 50 hertz or it's 480 at 60 hertz. So that's why.
Okay, that explains a lot. Yeah, it's just such a weird thing to do though, because most people would want a smoother experience than looking. But then when you look at like the older games, they do look shocking when they get blown up.
That's right.
If you just use like
55-inch TVs as standard these days, so that's the choice that they've had to make. Really.
It's weird that
this is why you keep me around, is to tell you this.
It is,
stuff.
But if you look at like Nintendo Switch Online expansion pass with the N64 games, if you've got the European one, which obviously I do because I'm in the UK, you get the choice of either being able to play the 50 hertz or the 60 hertz versions. Yeah, that's all they needed to do.
Yeah, I guess.
That is all they needed to do, is include both versions.
Yeah, I guess.
Because on my menu, like the Nintendo one, you can set the menu up so that you only have 60 hertz versions of the game on there, or only 50, or you have both, and you can choose. Yeah. Because obviously being in the UK, that's what I grew up with, the 50 hertz. It wasn't until the GameCube came along that it started giving you the option of going to 60 hertz. Because obviously our TVs didn't, back when originally with the N64 sort of era, our TVs didn't do 60 hertz. Yeah. So it'd give you the option of changing if you needed it to.
So I've got a couple of older games, and when they're blown up, they do look a little bit, on a 55-inch. Yeah. So I can see this. But you are right.
Options.
Could offer both.
Yeah, especially for a premium service that you're charging extra money for.
For sure.
You know?
Yeah.
Oh, well. Right, now it's a Nintendo story.
Now it's the Nintendo story. So you mentioned Kirby at the beginning. You've been playing Kirby. So
I had been playing Kirby.
Version of Kirby 64,
which is the version I played. It is.
So it's a game-breaking bug.
I still beat the game.
You still beat the game. Because you didn't fall foul of the bug.
I did fall foul of the bug. No, I did fall foul of the bug. I've got a whole video, just a card appearing above your head now, where I've just put my experience with the bug in there. Literally, it's the underwater level. What happens is, if you get hit by certain enemies in the underwater level, do you know when you go into like your invincibility frames where you sort of like, I've been stunned, and you get a few frames of invincibility, you get stuck in one of those frames, so you just like, and then because of the conservation of momentum, you still just sort of carry on however you're going. But you're invincible,
no, not stuck.
So nothing actually kills you, and you just like, the first time it happened I was like, what's going on? But because there was a water current, it actually like pushed me through to the end of the level, so I got into the next room and I was defrozen. But then I hit the boss and I froze up again. So yeah, it's just basically just freezes the character up and you can't die. So you have to either quit out to retry the level, or what I did was, because you got a system backup that you can save whenever you want, I was just going through a little bit, saved, It's fine as long as you don't get hit. And Kirby's not the most challenging game, so it was...
No, be extra careful around the shop.
Yeah, just use your save points and just keep saving every time you edge forward. I mean, the video I've got up is only 3 minutes. I have no
idea how this got through, though. How did they miss this?
That's what I said when, like, in my stream, Nintendo, I'm not happy with your quality control here.
I mean, wow. That's
because it didn't just happen once to me, and it's happened to a lot of people, so...
I mean,
maybe testers were just too... asleep. They were just too good at that level, and they just didn't get hit.
I'm stunned that it got through. I've no idea how... I mean, it's a fairly big one, isn't it?
And this is something that they've said that it didn't happen on the original version. It's only the Nintendo Switch version that this is happening on.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be patched pretty quickly.
Yeah,
but it should have been spotted.
The next patch, it'll be gone.
Yeah.
But I obviously played it on the day it came out, and it was there, just swimming along. Ooh, what's happened? It's got a bit weird.
Yeah. Ooh, so next story is about waffles.
It is about waffles.
Waffles. So, sweet store in Japan, Pikachu waffles.
Yeah, who does not want Pikachu waffles? I mean, seriously.
I do feel like I want to live in Japan because they have themed cafes dotted around Tokyo.
It's not just Pikachu waffles, though. There's Pikachu, Pulsim, Minim. Oh, what's the name of the hamster that gets hungry? Can't remember what the name of the hamster is from the new one. Pulsim, Minim, and Morpeko. That's it, Morpeko.
Yeah.
Both his hungry and his non-hungry form.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I do feel like Japan is the place to be.
I know, I'm
going
just jealous.
Forward. They get these cafes and they get loads of good merch and so there's a Pokemon Center in Japan, which is obviously a bit of a destination, and then there's the Pokemon Cafe. Here we are.
I know, but it gets better than that though in China. There's a video for this one appearing.
Oh, okay, a video.
Yeah, so what is it? KFC in China is doing a dancing Psyduck toy. God, I love my Psyduck.
This is amazing, and it's actually really big.
I know.
This
it looks so
toy
good. I want it.
It's huge. So at the moment, I think they're running about a couple of $100 online for changing hands. But this is your free toy with your meal.
Anyone wants to do a sponsored unboxing video, you can buy me one, please.
Yeah. So this is a Psyduck toy that comes free with the KFC meal over in China. And it's really big actually.
I know, it's just like
from the video.
When I saw it was like
about 20 centimeters.
When I saw it was a toy from KFC. I had to retake and think: is KFC the same in China? Is that the chicken place, or is it some big sort of multi-million toy industry? It's just like this does not look like a toy you get in a Happy Meal, does it?
No, I mean it's bigger than the meal itself, isn't it? I'm just stunned.
I want one. Oh well.
Yeah, so online prices at the moment up to $200. They're changing hands online. It's gone a bit viral. This little Psyduck.
I'm not surprised. It's awesome. It's awesome.
And people are putting all sorts of music across it, and because it's a dancing Psyduck toy.
It dances and it's great. And I want one.
I mean, honestly, anywhere's better to live than here, apparently.
Oh, well. Yeah. That was the news for this week.
That's the news for this week. Have we got any questions, Bessie?
We do, as always. We've got Charlotte, who's desperately trying to think of different questions for each week. Please help her out. You're making her little brain hurt having to think of questions all by herself. We need other people.
We do answer questions on literally anything.
Well, I do. Some people don't want to reveal their Animal Crossing villagers, or give butternut squash soup recipes into the Discord.
Yeah, butternut scoop.
I got that. I'm still waiting for my butternut squash recipe.
The thing about the island is I just don't even really want them to be there. I want to live on the island by myself.
Well, the question this week has got nothing to do. Well, she did ask what your villagers were again, but I didn't think you'd get answered.
Promise I'm going to make a list.
What do you like to do at the beach?
Do you know what? I was just thinking about the beaches. I'm going to book a holiday for July time. I can't sit still on the beach for very long.
Remember to take your laptop and the microphone.
Yeah, that's right. Live from Malta. That's where we're thinking of going. Anyway, so yeah, I can't sit still for very long. So I do tend to wriggle around a bit. I do like swimming in the ocean as deep and as far out as humanly possible. So more often than not, I like a bit of snorkeling, but I've also done quite a bit of surfing in my life as well. So if I can, it's snorkeling or surfing whilst at the beach.
Yeah, I get bored.
About you, Betsy?
I get bored sat on the beach. It's just like, I don't know, just walking up and down, looking at stuff.
Finding something to eat, probably, knowing you.
Trying to find buried treasure.
Buried treasure, yeah, that's it.
But yeah, remember, if you do have a question for us, you can leave a reply if you're watching this on YouTube in the comments section. While you're there, hit the like and the sub. And or you can get us on Twitter with the hashtag Ninqueso Live.
You can find me on Twitter.
You can find her on Twitter.
@gamergirl_Miss Brie.
Yeah.
GMR_GRL_MISS.
You can find me on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram as well now. Just search Ninqueso. You'll find it. You'll find it.
I think that's all the news for today.
That is all the news for today, yes.
All right, I'll count you in. 3, 2, 1, go.
I got nothing.
Nothing. Actual stories may be there next week, but for today, I apologise. Thank you very much, Bestie. All right, that's it from us, folks. As the man said, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. We'll see you next week. Say good night, Bestie.
Good night, Bestie.